local council heritage lists 900 homes. Now, usually when you think about a heritage listing, you think about a property that looks something like this. But in this case, we're talking about properties that look like this. Pretty different, wouldn't you say, ladies and gentlemen? So what exactly has gone on here? Now, the decision to place what they call this interim heritage overlay on 900 properties that fall within the local region of the Maribyrnong City Council actually took place a few years ago, but was only recently reported on courtesy of The Age. Now, this is actually pretty interesting. You see, the local residents were not advised of the decision of this council to heritage list these homes. They were never consulted, and as a result of this interim listing that the council is seeking to make permanent, we see homeowners have actually had their rights very much taken away from them. Now, we know here in Australia that private property owners' rights have been under attack for a very, very long time, but I think this is really taking it to a new level. So what exactly is the problem here? Well, once a property becomes heritage listed, the homeowner is very limited in regards to changes they can make within their homes. Changes such as value adding, such as changing the appearance of the home, renovations, extensions, and things like that. So just from reading the article the other day, it appears that there was a supposed expert consultant. His name was Ian White. So Ian White from the Heritage Foundation seems to think that it's okay for these homeowners to have their rights trampled over by the council. I'm going to show you what he said here. All right, so we're talking about the Royal Historical Society of Victoria, all right? So the Heritage Committee Deputy Chair, Ian White, said that introducing interim controls without consultation was a strategy sometimes used by councils to minimise the risk of homeowners rushing to redevelop, okay? Because supposedly homeowners don't have the right to redevelop their home, and that decisions to obstruct them from doing so should be left up to a bunch of people who have the capability to arbitrarily declare who can renovate and who cannot. Goes on to say here, he said it was normal for heritage protection to be applied at a precinct level, and the 8 areas chosen by Maribyrnong Council appeared to be carefully selected rather than in large, sweeping swaths. Alrighty, so that's pretty interesting. They're carefully selected. So what this language sounds like to me is very, very socialist in nature. Of course, we know at the core of socialism is the erosion of private property rights. So I went looking at the internet thinking that maybe this is not actually a legitimate photo of Ian, and maybe there is another photo out there that is more indicative of the type of character who believes that people's private property rights should be taken away. And I found this one right here. So what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? I think this is a lot more fitting for one who has the view that that homeowners should have no say what happens to their home in terms of these heritage listings. So anyway, I'm going to show you a little slideshow here of the homes, the properties, whereby the owners are very, very restricted and limited as to what they can do with their homes. And also, according to The Age, these homes have reportedly lost hundreds of thousands of dollars off their value. So take a look at these. So what do you think there, ladies and gentlemen? Do those look like properties that would be deserving of some type of heritage listings or meet the criteria, such as a property like this? A lot of those homes, as you can see, look dilapidated, and those photos are courtesy of The Age. So what actually is going on here? Is it really the objective to preserve the character of the neighborhood? Because the character to me looks dilapidated, it looks old, it looks like it's in need of revitalization. Why would a council want to hold people down? Why would a council want to hold local residents back from achieving more, developing their home, and providing a nicer environment to raise a family? All right, so these are the questions that we need to be asking here, ladies and gentlemen. So there's quite a few problems that I see with this arbitrary decision. So I'm going to read these for you. So number one, it makes no common sense for dilapidated or regular homes to be heritage listed. It just doesn't make any sense. Number two, homeowners have reportedly lost hundreds of thousands of dollars off the value of their homes. Three, homeowners are restricted from value adding to their homes, as we mentioned before. Four, and the homeowners were not consulted, all right? So the council basically took it upon themselves to make this arbitrary decision. No ifs, no buts, just whacked it on, and they without any regard for the owners. So this really leaves us to ask a question, and that question is, was this decision indeed made out of some type of genuine desire to protect the character of the neighbourhood, or could there have been other factors involved? What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Could there have been other motivations for the council making this decision? Well, the truth is I don't know. So I thought that I would actually send a letter to every single council member. All right, so this is what I sent to them here. I'm going to read it to you. Morgan here from MCJ Report. I'll be making comment on this matter tonight. All right, so I asked them some questions. One, were affected ratepayers consulted prior to the decision to apply this overlay? Two, why have homes that appear dilapidated and in need of renovations or demolition been included? Three, what were the key determining factors taken into account when deciding which homes would be included and which would not? Four, can you unequivocally state that the decision to apply this interim overlay was completely free of conflict of interest and based solely on the objective of preserving the existing character of the neighbourhood? Five, would you like to respond to claims that some homes have now drastically plummeted in value as a result of this overlay? Thank you, Morgan. Alrighty, so what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think that I got a response? No, well, of course I didn't. Nobody responded to me, and this is indicative of the way local government in many instances operates. They largely operate under the cloak of silence, in the shadows, and are very rarely held accountable for their actions. So what I would like to encourage is, I guess, a culture of holding people in office accountable at all levels. So if you've experienced something like this in your local council, then what I'd like you to do is go ahead and send an email to mcjaustralia@protonmail.com, because we really need to start naming these people, and the more that they're able to get away with these types of arbitrary decisions that destroy people's lives, the more brazen they're going to become. And they would very much like to continue operating in the shadows, and they will continue to do so unless we expose them. So you can actually access all the councillors' details right here on their website. That's maribyrnong.vic.gov.au. All right, so you can find the mayor, you can get their phone numbers, email addresses, you can call them, you can email them. So go ahead and sign up at mcjreport.com, and I'll send you this link, because we really need to stay on these people. It's not fair and reasonable that you can have just a handful of people make an arbitrary decision that completely undermines the private property rights of the local residents. So what do you have to say about that, ladies and gentlemen?